We're going to move on to our next item, which is our consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time that council votes on the motion unless members of the city council, staff, or public request any particular item to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action.
Like to pull item 13 for discussion?
Yes. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and pull out number 13 for a separate discussion. So we are taking action on items 8 through 12.
Move for approval.
Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposition? Okay, so we'll go ahead and take discussion on number 13, letter to Attorney General's office regarding the grand jury report. And we have Darren Gale.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. I can answer any questions that the council might have, but I believe this was pulled because we received a request from Becky Jettings, who is president of the Sutter County Jurors Association, who would like to speak on this item.
Okay. Are there any questions at this time for Darren before we move on to have Becky speak? No? Okay. Becky, you're on.
Good evening. I'm Becky Jennings. I live in Sutter. I need to move into the city. You have been so amazingly gracious through this process of trying to raise awareness for our juries. We appreciate it. We thank you so much for that. As you look at the process, and I'm just talking about the process because we have tons of speculation and rumors, and I won't address those. I don't think any of us should. Really, this situation is outrageous. It's the only time in the history of California that we are aware of that an entire grand jury had to resign because they were being blocked from performing their duties. We have some great members here from that jury. I want you to look at them. I hope they'll stand up for me. They're all amazing citizens of this community. Please, just for a half a second, because I really think that we need to thank them for their work, because these individuals spent 365 days of pouring their brains out, investigating things that they had never been part of, and bobbling like a cork, part of that without really good counsel from a legal standpoint. That should never happen. If I were serving on the grand jury this year, I'd be scared to death, and I'm not sure I would stay. We need to fix this problem. The only place I know that can happen is the Attorney General's office. So thank you so very much for taking this as a serious concern for our community. We appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. So at this time, if there's not any questions from council, we can go ahead and take action on this item. And the action is to authorize City Council to sign a letter or not.
Well, there is a second, through the mayor, a second draft or something that has been given to us. I'm not sure if the public has seen this yet, but I can tell you that I'm very concerned. When I was at the county supervisor, I was interviewed 6 or 7 out of the 8 years by the grand jury on all kinds of things. And a lot of, I learned a lot from the process, and it alerted me to some issues that I decided I'm going to look into this a little more. And I learned a lot about the process of government due to their interviews, and helping me to say that there's some issues are a little deeper than others, and you need to be very careful and dig even deeper when researching anything that is going to be a decision for the citizens. So I'm very concerned that this is, as they said, the first time this has happened, and we need to find out why.
So Councilmember Cleveland, to clarify, I believe Councilmember Sean Harris made a couple edits to the letter, and that's what he provided to up at the dais.
So this is suggestions from Councilman Harris?
Yep.
Okay.
Simply, the message is still the same. We just, with in the staff report, it asked if we want to provide any edits. I reviewed a few things and moved a couple words around, caught a couple
Wordsmithing
typos.
mostly?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's my habit I have.
It was your business before
Yeah,
or your job.
definitely. I can do it in my sleep. I'm a Nazi when it comes to reviewing things. However, that's all it was. The message is still the same, and it is purely my. There's no pride in ownership. It's just they suggested edits for a letter if we want to send something outside the building to the AG's office. Message again is the same. Fully support the effort to try to find out.
Through the mayor.
Yes.
I'd move the item, and on top of that, I will gladly and very proudly put my John Hancock on there and sign that with a rather large John Buckland.
I'll second that.
You got that second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, let's go ahead
And I will
and
make
prepare
sure
the
that we have a
final.
copy. Is that the updated letter as provided by Councilmember Harris? I will make sure I'll make copies of it so that people have it as they leave. And if the council, after the council meeting, would all please sign that, we will make sure and get it to the AG's office tomorrow.
Yeah. While we have a lull, thank you guys for your service and everything you've been through for this. We appreciate it.
We'll give a few minutes to let everybody. It's never gonna happen.
He did without even me training him.